Hello everybody, my name is Voyadex, welcome back to another Roblox product review video. In today's video guys, I've got the Skyhanger Embraer E120. So a massive shout out and thank you to Skyhanger for letting me lend their aircraft so I can give them an awesome review. I'll leave all the social links of Skyhangers down below in the description, so make sure you guys check them out. They are really cool people and I do highly recommend them. As we do, if you're new to the channel or you're currently a subscriber, what we do in these Roblox product review videos is that we go through the Discord features, then we run through the exterior of the aircraft, the interior, any features missing, give it a little test run, and then give my final review. Moving on to their Discord features on the Embraer E120, which says here we've got an interactive working galley, working window blinds, working upper bins, interactive cabin dim lighting system for flight attendants, accurate to reality exterior, accurate reality interior, single front gallery version, propeller automated pitch control and prop blur, wheel spin, working control services, dedicated SFX system, a good VFX, accurate to live animations, and a baggage cover in the main cargo well, also featuring Jeff in the cargo hold. Now there is a test play, so I will leave that in the link description down below. You guys just need to click on the link and it'll just take you straight away to the game. The pricing of this is 489 Robux, or you can also pay it with $3.50 of US. And I will leave the pay hip and also the hub so you guys can purchase it there. So anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to go back onto the game and let's just go through the exterior, the interior of the aircraft, the features, and give it a little test run. And yes guys, we are back onto the game to give a look around the aircraft and to speak about the ground crew features. Now looking around the aircraft straight away, I got to say they've done a really good job of this. The detail around the aircraft looks really cool and it's really super realistic. If I started a non-real airline today, this would be my aircraft of choice because it's very cheap and it's very well high detailed. I got to say they've done a really good awesome job on this, so massive 10 out of 10 on that to the developers are making this aircraft. Now, I think the only ground crew features that I was looking around is the chocks or the chokes. I know some people in the comment section was telling me that I was saying it wrong, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to say chocks. So you just have to approach them and then you just have to click on them and then they just disappear, click again, and then they just reappear like this. They've done a really good job on the chocks, that looks really cool. But anyway, what we're going to do is just going to take them away at the moment because we are going to do a little test run, we don't want them flying with us. Now, the one thing I want to say is they're not in the front of the aircraft though, and I know someone in the comment section will probably tell me or message me on Discord why they're not in the front of the aircraft, but I hope someone out there will tell me the answer for that. And then the second feature I will say is the ground crew. I think Jeff's in here, so if I give it a little knock. Oh, hello Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Yep, cool, I know your name's Jeff, but a bit of a downside to this, I know it's got some really cool feature, like a real, not feature, but like a good detail there. With the cases and Jeff there, but I know anyone with like prop ground crew stuff would probably have to get rid of that and add the cargo stuff in for the prop. So they'll probably have to remove the suitcases and Jeff. So anyway, we're going to close you up because we don't want you flying out with all the suitcases there, Jeff. So what we're going to do now is going to move into the interior of the aircraft. So let's go. So moving on to the interior of the aircraft. First things first we see is the lavatory and also the crew only doors. So that'll be your flight deck, also known as your captain and your first officer. We've got the telephone here to add a bit of detail, we've got a bit of exit sign, event of emergency, telling you where to go, or just how to leave the aircraft in general. Got the flight attendant seat and of course the lighting. Now just before the video started, I was messing with the lighting, but I'm unsure what it does, so I probably will leave a little message in the description once this video is published, or message Skyhanger and let them know. I was unsure what the lighting does and I'll probably leave a little message in the description. But anyway, if we just walk forward here, the flight attendant seat does come out, which looks really cool. And I'm assuming on Roblox Studio you can change this so your flight attendant or your personnel can sit at the seat only. So you probably have to go through the whole group, like rank locking system and stuff like that for it. So your personnel can only sit at the seat. And the lavatory, you guys are probably asking, is there one in there? Nope, there isn't. I know you're all disappointed, I know you're going to hate me in the comments. But the aircraft's small enough as it is, and I don't think they could add a lavatory into it. But the Skyhanger, you're not going to lose any rating because of it. But come on, guys, we can sort of agree on this that it's too small to do your business in. So, you know, it would have been really cool, but sadly it's a bit of a small aircraft to add a lavatory. So anyway, moving onwards, so we've got the galley here, which is for the flight attendants. So this would be really cool for any role playing. So you've got the trolleys, the hot food units here, hot water, and of course the cabinets that does open. But before we do that, I was messing around with the aircraft earlier, and I noticed this. Like, you can just click on this, if I can try and do it now. There we go. And that you can do this, you can actually lift this up and down. So I think it's like a cups holder for like crew and stuff like that. But that's actually a really cool feature. I've never actually seen this or expected that to happen. But if we move on to the cupboards here for the holders, so if I just try and open one up, there we go. And you can look inside straight away that they've got plenty of room. So if anyone wants to add like your own cups or your napkins, that'd be a really cool feature. But anyway, we're going to close this up so we don't bang our heads so we're walking back down when we're checking out the flight deck. So if we open the overhead bins as well, which I did mention in the features, they do open up just like that. That's actually really smooth. They've actually got plenty of room as well. I know airlines like Ryanair and EasyJet have that option, or maybe other airlines out there I've not seen do it. But they do have the option where you can put like your hand luggage inside the overhead bins, so that'd be really cool, especially if you're an airline owner and you've got that tech. It would be really cool to have that in there with your overhead bins. And it did mention with the window things as well being up and down, the window blinds being up and down. So if I just click on this, yeah, it does actually go down. That's actually really cool. And especially if you look on the outside as well, actually shows it being shut as well. And then of course if I click it open again, it just opens up just like that, and of course it's open on the outside as well. And of course, looking around the aircraft, I've also noticed this, where you have the lighting, the aircon, and also the service buttons. I know in some aircraft that I have reviewed in the past, they do have like the aircon option and the lights that do turn on, but sadly this time they don't. But I'm not going to lose a rating for that because they've gone through a lot to add this much detail into the aircraft, especially with it being such a small aircraft as well. They've done a really good job on it. The detail as well is amazing. And I got to say as well that any airline owners, you've got a lot of room here to play with. Like you can actually add like a two 1 seat figure here or a 1 figure here, depending on the size of the seats. So you've got plenty of room here. Of course, you've got the exit doors as well in event of emergency. So anyone that does emergency landings, you know you got the exit doors here. But anyway, that's all I got to say about the interior. It's actually amazed me how much room it's got. Like all the aircraft I've seen, like the smaller aircraft I've seen on Roblox, this has got plenty of room, I'm not going to lie. So anyway, what we're going to do now is going to move into the flight deck, check out the first officer controls and also the captain controls. Now moving on to the flight deck, I was just about to sit in the first officer seat and I caught the captain seat by mistake, so I was sat in the captain seat and I realised that the first officer and the captain seat have both like the same control panel here, which is actually a really cool feature. So if your first officer loses connection during flight or you've got a shortage of staff in your airline, the control panel is here for the captain. So basically it's just like Airware, so you can only have one person in flight deck if you've got like a shortage of staff, or if your first officer loses connection or has to go somewhere. You know, your captain's got full control here, so there's no need to stress or worry on you know, your first officer losing connection. So anyway, moving on to the features of this on the right hand side of the panel. So we've got the gears that do go up and down, so we'll just click on this. The gear doors do open, the gears do go up and also down again, and the doors do shut. Before anyone asks me any silly questions, yes they do. So while they're doing that, so we're going to move on to the flaps. So there's only 3 options. So we've got a 0 degree angle, 15 degree angle, and of course a 30 degree angle. So if we click on 15 degrees here, we can also see like the little dirt marks here. That's got like a really cool texture, and also it does go down very smoothly. That's really cool. So while the gears are going back down, we're going to open the flaps back to 0 degrees. And then of course we're going to go through the whole lighting system. So we'll go 0 degrees again. The flaps do go up very smoothly, including the gears. They go up and down very smoothly, so that's actually a really cool feature. And of course, moving on to the lights, so we've got the taxi light here, so we'll just click on taxi, and wow, that's bright, wow. That's brighter than my future, wow. Of course, the bulbs do illuminate, so I'm assuming all the lights as well around the aircraft do illuminate with the bulbs. So that's actually really cool, so we'll just turn it off before I blind anybody. Of course, we're going to move on to the landing light here, so we just click on that, and they do illuminate, and they are really bright as well. Wow, that's actually really... I'm actually amazed at that. That's actually probably the best light I've seen on an aircraft, I'm not going to lie. And then we go to navigation, we've got that's a bit bright. Then we've got the beacon as well, on the top and the bottom of the aircraft, they do illuminate, which is actually really cool. And then we move on to the strobe here, we've got a bit of a light on the tail there, and of course on the wings. And then of course that's the cargo door that does open and close, which was shown just before moving on to the flight deck. Of course, we're just going to turn these off very quickly, and then we're going to go to the wing light here, which actually looks really cool. They're really bright as well again. And then we've got the service light, which is again bright and really cool to see on the side of the aircraft. And of course, we've got the logo, which is at the back of the aircraft on the tail. Now, I gotta say the lighting on it is actually really cool, especially with all the bulbs illuminating. The brightness as well, the brightness settings as well for them is actually really cool, and actually set at a really nice brightness. So I've got to give the developers that. That's actually a really good feature there and a really good touch. Now you probably noticed the scenery the background did just change. I did have to cut the video. Some reason I did lose connection to my own game, but however we did just manage to make it just before the doors and the engines a bit of a takeoff and give it a test run. So what we're going to do now is basically going to close the door and give it a little test run. So we'll just watch the door. It does close very smoothly, and I did notice as well the stairs do fold in, which is actually really cool and really awesome to see. That's actually, it's actually a really nice touch. So anyway, when I did move the aircraft just before, what you guys need to do, I know usually you have to press like E to like start the engines and move the aircraft before you even like turn on the engines. But for this one, you have to turn on the engines first before you actually move the aircraft. But before we do that, the APU does work, and it does make a very loud noise, which you guys can hear. The file for the aircraft does come with an audio file, so you do need to add the audio yourself through the Roblox creator. and add that yourselves in. So I'll just turn off the APU because we don't want to keep that on, because we do need the engines to start. So if I turn on the engines, the engine noises do work. But like again I said, the file for the sound does come with the aircraft, so like you do need to add it yourselves on the Roblox creator for it to work, for it to start up, shut down and idle. And of course the wipers do work, so any weather systems that you do have, the wipers do work to add a bit of touch of realism. I know Skyhanger, I know you guys want me to do the weather system, I probably will add that to my weekly products series. So anyway, while we wait for the engines to load, you will notice that the engines do turn off, just like that. And of course now I can move the aircraft, so if I press on C for control here, and then of course unanchor it, because I can't move anywhere if I don't unanchor the aircraft. And if I start moving the aircraft forward, the aircraft does start to move. So you do need to start the engines up before actually moving the aircraft to any point of where you want to go. Which I will say would add a bit of touch of realism, which is actually really cool. Now you guys can see and also hear the engines, and you can see like the propeller blurs, which I did mention on the Discord features. And of course I can also brake, so if I press B on my keyboard here, I can brake to control the speed of the aircraft and also turning corners. Now I got to say as well, the aircraft is quite tough to move, so I'm assuming you will have to change this around in settings, which it did sort of say in the little readme script when it does come with. So what I'm going to do is try to full throttle it and hopefully it can take off without going off the runway. So while we do that, we're just going to watch the aircraft. Actually, like again guys, like the aircraft actually looks really cool, I'm not going to lie, it's actually really good. I actually probably use this for private flights. This is actually really cool. I'll probably make my own non-real airline for this. It's actually a really cool aircraft. So hopefully I can just try my best and take off here just before the end of the runway, hopefully. Come on, come on, there we go. And there we go, taking off. Pretty smooth takeoff there, that's really cool. And I got to say, it's quite tough to turn the aircraft, but like I said, you probably need to change it around in the script, because it does say in the readme script you're allowed to change it. But for the sake of the aircraft, I'm probably not going to change it, just add a bit of realism. So we're going to move around the aircraft a little bit. It's actually really nice to fly, to be fair. It is tough, but it's actually really nice to control as well, to be honest. So what we're going to do is try and slow down the aircraft. So for the cruise option is there just below the altitude here. So if I've just pressed on cruise and just take the gears up here and press on cruise here just before I put it into the ocean, the speed does go down. I'm assuming the speed does go back up, hopefully it does. So if I just try and jump out the aircraft here by holding down the spacebar, the exit, and of course there we go. So we can walk around the aircraft during the cruise mode here. It's actually a really cool feature. Oh dear, I don't think I should have done that. I don't think the captain can do that, but however, I'm hoping if you uncruise it, the captain speed does stay exactly the same. So however, I got to say the aircraft overall is actually really cool. It's actually got really cool features. The realism and the detail to the aircraft is actually really cool. I'm not going to lie, I probably would use this aircraft for my own private flight, so I'll probably think about starting a non-real airline using this aircraft. But like again guys, I do highly recommend Skyhanger. They're actually a really cool company to use. So if you guys can check them out in the link description down below, everything will be there. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.